Hi, I'm Mark Christian. I was just interviewed on the Keith Andrew show. It was a pleasure being interviewed by him. I think he has a lot to offer, speaking more on disabilities and people without disabilities, and making sure that they're able to accomplish their dreams and not be tied down to any labels that other people have given them, which are unnecessary, and they shouldn't be defined by those labels in the first place. But I definitely look forward to keeping in contact with Keith and his show, and seeing where everything leads to. And I mean, he's a great guy, and he has a lot to offer. And stay tuned to his show, and he'll keep you stabilized.
Today on the KeithAndrewNetwork, welcome to the one and only KeithAndrewNetwork. I am your host, Keith Andrew. Today we have a very special guest. But the first thing I want to start off is, before I go into the conversations we have, is what is the Keith Andrew Network? The whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities, to never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. To prove to them you can still amount to something. So that being said, you don't have to have disabilities to be on my show. By having a whole bunch of guests on my show, and by you being a guest on my show, you're supporting my message and the cause and what I stand for. So, like I said, labels don't dictate who you are and going to be. Therefore, you don't have to have disabilities just to say, that's what you do. But anyway, that's enough about me. So the first question I wanted to ask you is, tell our audience a little bit about yourself and the type of work that you do.
Sure. My name is Mark Christian. I'm a professional actor. I've been been in this industry for about 20 years. I do musicals. I do live stage plays, movies. I'm currently on a TV series right now called O'Shea. We're still currently filming the episodes. I also teach acting as well. I studied in New York, various conservatories for method acting and Meisner technique, musical theater, and I have a myriad of shows under my belt, and continually getting more gigs.
No, absolutely. Don't mind me. I talk too much, so that's why hey, feel free to drink some water, right? A lot of people tell me I make them drink. That should be a shirt. Imagine just walking into the store and seeing on a brand new shirt that jumps right out at you. People say I make them drink. Could be a bestseller. By the way, if you want to use that a hashtag or idea, I do get a percentage of that. But the thing I want to ask you, while we're on the subject of disabilities, besides me, obviously, have you worked with people with disabilities? And for someone who wants to follow in your wonderful footsteps, how would one go about that?
Right. To be honest, I have not worked with anyone specifically that had any type of disability, whether it was physical or a mental disability or a learning disability, whatever it is. Not that it's not around, obviously, but I just haven't had that chance to be around anyone or worked with anyone that has that. But I think anyone is able to do anything that they want to do if they keep their mind to it and don't let those disabilities hinder them from going after their dreams.
Absolutely. It's all about barriers and knocking down barriers. Right. And sometimes when you don't get opportunities, yes, you can play the victim, poor me, what about woe's me? Or you say, you know what? I will create my own opportunities and show you, hey, I didn't go to college. I don't have this fancy BA and a bachelor's or whatever, or $1 million. I'm born with a silver spoon in your mouth. But I will show you, if you have the heart and passion, I want to do this to the day I die. So if you have the heart and passion, that's half the battle. The biggest problem is, and you will agree as an actor, what? Let me ask you this: do you do this for fun, or is this a job for you?
It's primarily a job. I'm also a personal trainer as well. But throughout the years, it's been difficult because not everything is consistent. So I don't consistently have shows that I'm getting paid for. Not that I'm trying to do them for free, but some shows are still in that mindset of there will be future payment, as the show gets bigger and bigger, like the TV series that I'm working on, and like a couple other movies that I've worked on that I'm not doing it for free, but they just haven't had the budget to pay anybody yet until they get it, out and running or streaming live, like on Netflix or some other network or whatever, or YouTube or whatever. So there's possible future payments later down the line, but right now it's just not feasible.
No, the reason I asked, do you treat it as a job or you do it for fun?
Oh, sure.
Sure.
I definitely treat it like a job. This is what I do daily. I can't say daily, just when it comes up. But there are some side gigs that I do because I do work with other entertainment companies, where I do like superhero gigs and stuff. So obviously there's payment in that, but that's not every day either. So that's just kind of when they come up.
No, the reason I say that is because if you would tend to ask me, is this a job or do it for fun? Yes, realistically, it is a job, but I don't get paid, unfortunately. Hopefully that changes. But I do it for fun. And that's the attitude I have. You walk into a store, say, I'm here because it's fun. I enjoy it. I feel like I'm making an impression, leaving an impression, just leaving positive energy. Once you get that attitude or whatever the hell the word is, you end this mindset of saying, I hate it, I don't want to be here. You start setting yourself for failures. And it's kind of like a domino effect. It's like, you know what? Look at it like this. I'm here. I'm enjoying myself. I know my time is very valuable. I am happy. So, okay, you have a house of cards. I hate it. I don't want to be here. This job sucks. And once you do that, you ruin anything that you would possibly have. For an example, I used to work in a retail store. And you would come up on my register and you would see me as the, I hate this job. I don't want to be here. And I don't know if you're a producer or looking or scouting talent, but if you come across that person, like, I was going to offer them an opportunity, but based on their attitude now, I want nothing to do with that person. So you don't know who you're going to meet. So for me, I always stood there with a smile on my face, and I did the best damn work that I can possibly do, because you don't know who you're going to come across, what opportunities it's going to magically fall into your lap. So having the I don't care, I'm just doing it as a job thing, you don't want to send out the wrong signals, because as you know, and I don't want to repeat myself, you never know who you're going to cause, and that could easily set you up for failure.
Right. Even though I look at it as a job, the only reason why I look at it as a job And I mean, I and not just as a hobby. I mean, I do have fun because I'm very passionate about it. That's why I took the time to get the training. I had the natural talent, but I never had formal training. I never did a theater degree. So I just went straight to New York and went to conservatories and just, took the risk. And I felt like it paid off. I felt like it was necessary to do that because this is something that I was born with. I was born with this talent, and I'm going to use it to the best of my ability, whether it's for fun or as a job. The reason why I look at it more as a job, because it's fun for me to do, and it is my passion, and it's enjoyable to create different characters and different settings, and actually experience and empathize with those characters and really step into that person's shoes, even though it's not real. But so you have to enjoy what you do. And don't worry about looking at as this is a job. I got to be here. I got to do this. Do it because you want to do it. Do it not because you just have to. So you definitely have to always keep that positive attitude and never let anything get in the way. Never let anyone tell you you can't accomplish something. You can't accomplish your goals. You can't accomplish your dreams. You can. Anybody can if you have the passion and you have the heart to do it. And don't let anyone tell you, to back down from that.
No, you're right. Look at me. I never went to college. I read and learned at a middle school to high school level. And, I'm showing you, hey, I'm not qualified and I am on the spectrum of being retarded. And, okay, I'm not, but I'm on the spectrum. But with all that BS, look at what I have created. And, so I have to say upon the show, labels do not dictate who you are or who you want to be, or the other famous quote people say, don't judge a book by its cover.
Right.
But the question I want to ask you is, what attracted you to begin your career as a professional actor?
It pretty much started when I was 8. I saw my first production of Starlight Express in London, and then seeing Phantom of the Opera, and just completely fell in love with theater in general, and then started my career in musical theater. I've trained in voice, in doing musicals, and then doing the acting part of it, and then just going from there, and then going from that into stage plays, and always I was definitely very nervous in that transition, because I didn't do a whole lot of acting. I relied more on my singing to be part of my acting ability. But once I figured out that I have pretty good acting chops, that I got more comfortable with it, and then it just got easier and easier as I went along, and that's I'm obsessed with it. I became obsessed, and then I transitioned to doing movies and short films and TV series and stuff like that, and so now I go back and forth between all three of them, and that's the highlight of my life, and I love every moment of it, and I would never give that up.
It's funny. I was at a time obsessed with going to Comic-Con. I went to the Hudson Valley Comic-Con, then I went to the New York one. I want to go to California, San Diego. And then I was thinking, that's nice, but I don't have anything to offer. I said, take all my money pretty much. But then I was thinking, once I become famous, that will be option for me. I wouldn't have to pay. Of course, you have to pay for the hotels and one food or whatever. But it'd be nice if people walked up to you. And that's another question. On a scale 1 to 10, has anyone ever walked up to you and asked for your autograph, or are you still working on that?
Oh, sure. I mean, I've been in several situations where someone or a couple have recognized me from a show that they had seen me in, that, you know, it was probably a year later or maybe 5 months later, and they're just like, "Hey, I saw you in 1776 or something. You were awesome, and, you know, I love your character," or whatever, or something like that. And, you know, like even kids will come up and get autographs after the show or something, or take pictures with me or something. So yeah, so every now and then, it doesn't happen all the time, but every now and then it does happen. and
Well,
it's a thrill. It's fun.
and it should be. For me, I'm still working on it. When I went to the Ulster County Fair with my dad, and I said, you know what, it would be nice that when I do my show, people walk up to me. It's like, "Hey, you're the guy who's a disability, who's a motivational speaker and a talk show host. Can I get your autograph?" And my dad also said something that realistically, and of course, yes, I do make people drink, as we were talking about. But at the same time, you want your privacy. You don't want people to, here's a paper, walk around, let's see what's for paper, like sign this or sign that. You want to feel, you want to have it 50-50. You want to say, yes, I'd be more than happy to take a picture or an autograph. But at the same time, it's like, Jesus Christ, I just want some time alone, or you want some downtime. But at the same time, you're thankful that this person, this complete other stranger, is coming up to you and say, "I admire your work, and I want that opportunity to share that moment with you, even if it's just, hi, thank you for what you're doing." But the thing I want to ask you is, what are some of your greatest accomplishments?
Some of my greatest accomplishments. I think one of my greatest accomplishments is just putting myself out there and taking the risk to get that formal training. That is an accomplishment, I think, for anyone, and to just put themselves out there and just be open and vulnerable to receive proper training for your craft. I think some of the other accomplishments that I have achieved is becoming a personal trainer, getting the certification. I'm now certified as a high school coach. Not for any specific sport yet. It's just like the fundamentals of coaching. So I do have that certification now. And I am still currently finishing my kinesiology degree. So that will definitely be another accomplishment. But I think just being able to say that you are an actor is pretty mind blowing. It's just something that not everybody can say that they are happy doing.
No, you're right. Now, let's do the opposite to that question. What are some of your biggest failures? And by the way, I'm going to use that one next time I'm being interviewed. What are some of your greatest accomplishments? I'm like, well, use my show. As you said, if you have it, use it. That's why you're using it to make yourself different from the competition. But as I said, this is not about me. But what I want to ask you is, what were some of your biggest failures?
Not getting certain roles, being I guess not being taken seriously by other people, maybe in the cast who are more amateur than I am, who kind of think that they know it all, and I'm like, listen, I'm the one who's professionally trained, and you're trying to put me down when I have like hundreds of credits to my name, and you're barely making it, and you think you're God's gift to man. I'm sorry, you're not. I mean, you're definitely God's gift, but you're not God's gift to man.
I was going to say, I agree with you. My biggest, I wouldn't say failure, biggest problem is I put myself in situations where I try to reach people's expectations, but you end up failing. That's one of my biggest failures.
Gotcha.
But the other thing I want to add to you, and I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, go ahead.
The other thing I wanted to ask you is, what were some of your most favorite films that you were a part of?
Let's see. I think currently, like one of the most recent ones that I just finished filming is called Stolen. It's basically it's a story on human sex trafficking. And I happen to be the leader, the kingpin of the whole trafficking ring, human trafficking ring. But at least the story finishes with me getting taken down and the girls escaping. Or at least a couple of the girls escaping. So at least it's mostly to bring awareness to human trafficking, in a sense that because it's so well known, especially here in Houston, and in Atlanta, and I'm sure different other places as well. But these are the main hubs for it. So we just want to bring that awareness that it's that it needs to be stopped, and so it was a hard show to do, but it was also a privilege to do it because I like doing challenging roles. I like doing things that make people think in complexity. So that's kind of one of my favorite ones that I have worked on. I'd say a few others. There was one called All for Amy that I did. I played a cop. And it was a short character. It was fun to do, but it was short lived because I get killed. So, but it's fun. It's just fun to be so versatile in my character choices, that I can just move freely in those things. So I as far as movies are concerned, those are my favorites thus far. I'm sure there will be plenty other. I mean, because I still have some others that are still in the works that are like more short films. Like I'm working on a Spider-Man fan film that I'm working on right now. I'm waiting to do more. I'll end up playing Carnage later on. So I play a lot of villain roles. I've just been known to do that, even though I can do a lot of comedy and romantic stuff. But I always get chosen as the bad guy. And I just got good at playing those types of characters, especially in New York. Some of them were really hard to play, where I had to be more psychotic in nature, but they were challenging, as far as I guess as far as the mental perception of the characters and how they're brought to life. So it's always a fun and enjoyable time being someone that you're not. And I think that makes you unique.
No, absolutely. Now, I do have a couple questions for you off the air, but to ask too, how can people get in touch with you on social media? And when I approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what made you say yes? What was your honest first reaction? And what do you recommend to other people out there?
Sure. I'm on Facebook as Mark Christian. Please look for the right Mark Christian, because my old profile did get hacked. So I just want to put that out there, and he's still on that profile. So if you look for the one that has the O'Shea background on it, and that's actually me. I am on Instagram, but that account has been hacked. Everything has been hacked. So I mean, I'm still reachable, but I do have my own website as well. My website URL is www.markchristianofficial.com.
Well, one thing I would say is, reach out to Facebook, Instagram, change your email to, and not really so much your email, just change the password.
I have. I've tried to do everything, and Facebook doesn't care, because they're liberal pricks. They don't care. They really don't care. I'm sorry. I'm a Christian. I don't bother with that nonsense.
You're right. I do have some ideas for you, but we can talk about it off the air. But wrapping up our show, it was a real honor and privilege having you as a guest. Looking forward to part 2 down the road. And for people, make sure to like and subscribe to the Keith Andrew Network, available on Facebook, YouTube, and the KeithAndrewNetwork.com. As I always say to our guests, until we meet again, I catch you later. Thank you, and have a good night.